registration and ends with the actual voter process itself, the ballot, the voting process itself. So what happens is that for the first time in the history of this country, we know how many people are registered per constituency, per county, and therefore it removes some of the mystery that surrounds the electoral process. I think Kenyans are today aware that there's a difference between an ecstatic, full and exciting drama of a rally as opposed to the actual number of people who are registered to vote. The biggest rally does not translate into the biggest number of votes. It is those who actually go to register that determine the number of voters. We think that is a very, very important step that they have taken as a commission to democratize that information, and that information is now available to all Kenyans. We also address the issue from our standpoint. The commission has not given us any response, but from our standpoint, the issue of cleaning of the register to remove those voters that may have died since the last elections. And we did bring to the attention the fact that there should be some baselines. And one of the most important baselines that Kenyans ought to know, we think, is the crude death rate, which is different from county to county. The content of that particular statement is that if you come from a county where the death rate is higher per year, according to the crude death rate reports of the UNDP or UNFPA, you should expect to lose more people when the register is being cleaned of those who have passed on. So those kind of baselines, which are very scientific, should be some of the factors that Kenyans should know about, so that if all of a sudden from this county or that county the numbers plummet because more of them have died, then they should accept that that is the reason why that is happening. So the truth of the matter is that, of course, some of us politicians normally take advantage of funerals and we turn them into funeral rallies, and some of us can chop by hopper, by helicopter from one funeral to another to address people. There's a downside of it, and the downside is that it means you are losing many voters. And if that is happening in your county, don't be surprised when your numbers go down when the register is cleaned. We think it's important for you as media to start this process of educating Kenyans, so that once again nobody is going to say that so many people have been dropped from the register from their regions, so rigging has taken place. It is those kind of things that we wanted to bring to the attention of the commissioners, and they've been so kind as to receive our memorandum, which we will share with you in the spirit of openness in terms of what we discussed. Thank you very much for coming. We'll be taking questions. That's all I have to say, and I'll ask the chairman if he has anything to add or to say, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, this is the new commissioners right behind me. We had a meeting last week with the NASA team, and today we have had a meeting with the Jubilee team. As you all know, Jubilee is a ruling party. NASA is the opposition, CORD and NASA, they are the opposition party. And we have reached out to them in the spirit of engaging stakeholders. The new commission is committed to delivering free, fair credible and peaceful elections come on the 8th of August this year. And in that spirit, that's why we are engaging the stakeholders, the political parties. We came in office, we said that our door is open, and we welcome everybody who has ideas, views on the processes which we have undertaken. And this is part of that outreach activity of the new commission. And therefore, we have received a memorandum from Jubilee. We have also discussed a wide range of issues. I just want to confirm what Mr. Tuch has said. The issue of the register is one of the issues we discussed. As you all know, we have the court has extended the registration up to Sunday of that's 19th. On 19th, we expect that now the regions will bring us data of the people who have registered and the transfers, and thereafter we shall commence the process of cleaning up the register. And this has to go on until on the 9th of May, we shall present that register to the Kenyan people, the politicians, for verification purposes. And so this has to be done. The cleaning of the register involves, of course, removing the dead voters, removing those names of people who may have double registration. I know of a fact that some people have been induced to transfer more than once. Those are the cases we shall ensure don't come in the register. And so the issue of the register is important. But we also discussed many other issues, and I want to say one of the issues which has come up is party nominations. As a commission, we are working on the party nomination guidelines and regulations. But as you all know, party nominations are coming up in March, and therefore we will engage Jubilee. They request us to hold party nominations. We have a small team which will engage the party for purposes of working out the best way of how to handle it. And on that note, I think I want to say this kind of engagement is open. We welcome everybody to our offices. Perhaps the question may arise, why we came to Jubilee as opposed to them coming to our office. And we are saying, as a ruling party, we decided that as a commission we come here and meet them in the offices, the same way we went to see the opposition in the offices in NASA offices. And for all the other parties who want to engage us and we share ideas, we welcome them to come to Anniversary Towers. So this is the last of our outreach visit to political parties. Thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon.
Yes, let's start one there and then you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. My name is Stakeholder from NTV. Now I have two quick ones. The first one is on, I remember the last time when the Jubilee Party had a press conference, one of the key issues you outlined was you wanted IEBC to come out clear on the issue of impartiality. Looking at the two heads of the commission coming from one region. So I don't know if you've addressed that. Then number two is the issue of nomination. When it comes to party primaries, one of the issues that has been coming out clear is about funding. As a commission, you have the funds. If all parties will come, that we, because I'm given to understand that if Jubilee, you agree with Jubilee, and probably the opposition might also want you to carry out their nominations. Do you have the funding?
Okay, first of all, the issue of impartiality. We did discuss the issue of impartiality, but we also did say that, and it is in our memorandum to them, that the opposition has on more than once, on several occasions, perpetuated the narrative that the elections are going to be rigged or could be rigged. The only institution that can rig the elections is the IEBC. So to say that the government is going to rig the elections or Jubilee is planning to rig the elections, this cannot happen unless the IEBC decides to go into cahoots with Jubilee to do that. And we wanted the IEBC to be very categorical and to be able to say if that is true or not true. The NASA or opposition, is it now NASA? I mean, NASA. They finally decided on the name. Is that breaking news? Now, you see, NASA or CORD or whoever they are have tried to perpetuate this narrative, which may create the impression that we are in some unholy alliance with the IEBC. And that is of concern for us. And that's why I did make the previous statement that if an analysis was to be made, then we don't see how we can possibly be in cahoots with the IEBC. IEBC has written to us in very tough language. We did talk to them through the media in very tough language, but we believe we have reached the end of that particular discussion. The fact that they have been so courteous as to come and visit with us and meet for the last 2 hours, we think is a very clear indication of goodwill from their side and their impatient sense to ensure that they are impartial. And indeed, if they did go to the NASA offices and today they are in our offices, then I don't think that it would be appropriate for us to talk about any bias. So I think we're very satisfied with that. The next thing which you're saying is about the funding. I think one of the things which came up in our discussion is that there's some ambiguity in the law with respect to this particular issue of IEBC helping in the nomination process, because while the law says that the IEBC should help in the nomination process when asked by a party, that law does not provide on how this should be funded, and the IEBC has not been allocated such funds. Then, of course, there's also the other aspect of the law, which requires that if there's disagreement in the nomination process, then the IEBC is supposed to be the next step to arbitrate in that process. So how can they be arbitrators and at the same time be the ones to help us conduct it? So there's some conflict there. And those are the issues that our team of 3 and their team of 3 will look at, because we have to accept that this kind of processes in our country, we are at embryonic stages of implementation, and there's likely therefore to be some difficulties. We are being open-minded about it, and we are going to meet with them with open minds and to see how to resolve the matter. I'm sure that you may want to say something more than that.
I think the issue of funding. You see, the issue of IEBC's participation in party nomination is a legal requirement. If a political party writes and requests, IEBC shall be involved in the nominations. That's what the law says. But on the ground, of course, the regulations have not been developed. We're actually working on them. And as you know, that IEBC doesn't have funds of its own. So if there's any funding required, we shall have to approach Treasury through Parliament, of course, for that allocation. So it's quite a process, but we shall engage. Of course, our first wish is that I wish political parties would hold primaries without involving us. But the law is there, and those are some of the things we shall be engaging.
So you don't have enough capacity?
IEBC has capacity. They ran elections in the past. We are preparing for a national election. And in that aspect of capacity, we have the capacity to run the national election. If you can run a national election, a party election will not be a problem. We are only talking of a small portion of the people participating, because we go by the party membership list. So capacity we have. But we are talking about logistics, and we're also talking about our timelines towards the August 8th general election. We have a lot of things on our table, We have to do the register which you have mentioned. We have to do verification. We have to do a lot of things related to voter education and others. So it's more of the workload which you have as opposed to a capacity.
Thank you. Yes.
Yep.
Mwanachibukati, pengine kutokana na kesi ambazo zinawasilishwa mahakamani kupinga zabuni kwa mfano ile ya IEBC, pengine swala hili huenda ikaathiri kwa njia moja au nyingine maandalizi ya uchaguzi ujao.
Kulingana na kesi ya umesema ya KPMG ama kesi nyingine, hiyo kesi haitazuia sisi kufanya uchaguzi wa August 8 kwa sababu koti vile iliamua. KPMG haijaamliwa bado, nafikiri inaendelea ile ya audit. Sisi tunaendelea na shughuli zetu kama dume, tunaendelea na mambo ya kuangalia register vile iko, tutoe ile majina ambayo haifai, haitakani kwa register, na sisi tunaendelea na shughuli yetu. Vile umeona tumetoa timelines tayari, vile tunaendelea na hiyo ratiba mpaka tufika tarehe 8 siku ya kura. So mambo ya ile kama ya audit ikimalizika tutaendelea nayo. Kama kuna mambo mengine ya kesi zingine kama ile ya procurement, hiyo sasa tutaanza tena fresh, na bado tuna time, tuna wakati wa kutengeneza hiyo procurement tupate ballot papers in good time. So mambo ya kotini haitazuia sisi kufanya uchaguzi mwaka huu.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, over there. Let's start with it. I saw him first, sorry.
Yes, okay.
No bias.
My name is Arcadius. I have a question to Sachapokati on clearing of register. And as you have talked about the debt, which criteria are you using to eliminate people who die late to election?
Those are acts of God.
Yeah.
Do you have a suggestion on how to do that?
Acts of God.
Thank you very much for that question. Yes, we don't wish anybody to die, but it's natural that we shall all die one day. The issue of the register, we are procuring a system, technology system, which has 3 major components. One, of course, is what we are using now, for biometric voter registration. And if you have registered, I hope you all have registered to vote. You put your fingerprints, so those fingerprints will identify you, only one person, not 2. And of course your national identity card is also a feature. Now when you go to vote, the other component of the technology is the identification device, the EVID. Now that EVID will be able to identify you if you walk to the polling station and put your fingers there. Now if you are dead, of course you are not going to go there. So even if you die a day before, you will not be able to walk to the polling station. So the best way out for us is to ensure that the EVID system works and that we are able to identify you using the EVID system.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'll start with him.
I was just curious, Honorable, to you that now that IEBC is really, its hands appear to be full, there are many litigation cases going in court, they're preparing for other sports, the time span is too short. Have you as a party considered maybe having sourcing for an alternative body to do party primaries for your party and give IEBC room to concentrate on the August polls?
Since we are meeting, we have selected a group of 3 from our side, and the IEBC will also be telling us who will be meeting on the other side. I think I'd like to cross the bridge after that particular meeting.
Mkati tumeona kwamba shughuli ya usaili wa kura imeongezwa kwa siku 5, mara kwanza kwa siku 2 alafu siku 3 jana. Pengine harakati hii huende kaathiri maandalizi yenu in terms of budgets.
Yeah, hiyo ni kweli. Budget yetu imeharibika kwa sababu kwa kila siku kulingana na ile mass voter registration tunatumia karibu 30 to 40 million shillings per day kufanya hiyo operation, sababu tuna watu wengi tumeweka kwa hiyo kazi. Kuna mpangilio ya security. Unajua some areas huwezi fanya registration bila security, na budget yes imeharibika. Koti imeingilia ile maneno na kuongeza hizo siku, lakini lazima vile tumesema tunafuata sheria, rule of law. Lazima tufuate hiyo sheria, vile koti imeamua tutafanya hiyo mambo ya registration mpaka tarehe 19 Sunday, alafu ndio tufunge ile mkondo.
Thank you very much. I think we should. Okay. I've seen the hands of a lady there, so I don't want to be accused of gender bias.
Yes, my name is Nancy from Maryland, and my question is about the team, the three from Jubilee and the others from the IEBC. When are you going to meet to begin the discussion on that? When are we expecting the briefing to be done?
You want to say something about that?
I think our first meeting will be on 28th of February. That's the first day when we shall be engaging with the IEBC to either agree to roll out rules of engagement and the extent to which IEBC can be involved in the nominations. So on that day we shall be able to lay out a very short program within which we shall finish the discussions, because we are constrained by time and the timelines that have been issued by IEBC. So on 28th we shall be able to give you a feedback after engaging with the IEBC appointed team. I will be sitting in the team together with Honorable Tuju, and we are going to be advised on which other people are going to be appointed from the IEBC end to sit in that team.
Thank you. Okay, very last one. Yes, she's answered it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. No, you've already given you a chance.
An issue just want to know from the chairman, with the cancellation of the tender for the ballot papers, and it has affected your timeline. I understand the commission said that last time. So what is the way forward? What are we looking at? Do you have another plan? How do you plan to recover the time? Because you have to start afresh.
The issue of the tender, I think I addressed it in Swahili. Maybe you didn't hear it properly. We have time. We have time to do another tender and procure ballot papers. The election is on August 8th. Ballot papers are some of the very last items we shall be getting for purpose of the election. So we have time, and if for any reason that time is compromised, the procurement law is there. We shall follow the procurement law and still make sure we have procure ballot papers for the election. We have very many options in the procurement law. There are almost 5. So they are at our disposal. So the timelines will not change. We shall follow the timelines as we publish them.
Hala, kwani wewe ni babi uelewe Kiswahili bana? Okay, I understand. Just a light touch. I think we'll come to an end of this particular press conference. Thank you very much for coming. I think I'll take this opportunity to symbolically again hand over the memorandum from Jubilee.
The Jubilee Secretariat there at their headquarters, just handing over the memorandum to the chair of the IEBC, of course, with his team there, and the issues that they have been looking